Hello, hello, hello. Hope you guys are having a fantastic week. It kind of feels weird that it's Wednesday already because of Labor Day and so the shortened week. I feel sort of off. Do you guys ever feel that way? Anyway, I titled this, I'm So Angry, because really I'm going to talk to you just briefly, not take up a ton of your time, but I'm gonna hit on grief today. And I mentioned it a couple lives ago that I was going to talk about it, and I seriously cannot even tell you how many people have been messaging me going, when are you going to talk about grief? When are you going to talk about grief? So here we go, and it's actually going to be kind of a two-part series for you guys. I'm just going to overview grief today and then hit you up later on in the week with grieving things and people and events that are still happening, and not just grieving somebody who's gone. So here you go. Grief includes anger. That's the bottom line. If you have a piece of paper, you can write the stages of grief. There are 5 stages of grief. The first one is denial. This can't be happening. This did not happen. How did this happen? I cannot believe this. This isn't real. This just isn't real. I can't believe it. So the first one is denial. The second one is anger. Why is this happening? What kind of God does this to us? I cannot believe this. I'm so angry at God. I'm so angry at so-and-so. I'm just angry. I am going to be pissed with my kids. I'm going to be crabby with my husband. I'm angry. That is the second stage of denial. The third stage of denial is bargaining. I'll do anything to change this. What did I do wrong? How could I have fixed this? Did I say something wrong? Should I have changed that? What if I did this? Would it change things? I should have done. I could have done. Bargaining. You're bargaining the grief. The next stage is depression. God, this is so sad. It's hard to get out of bed in the morning. It's almost dark all the time. What's the point of even going on every single day? Because I am so down and so sad. And then the last stage is acceptance. It's gonna be okay. Life is gonna go on, and I'm gonna go on. But here's the struggle with the stages of grief, is that it doesn't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, acceptance, we're done. That's the hard part. It's like this bouncing back and forth that's so hard to comprehend. I don't know if you guys are like me, and kind of let me know what you think about this, but I think, okay, if you give me a list of things to do, I'm gonna get through that list and good, we're done. So when I think about the stages of grief, it should be a list, right? Okay, I'm going to go through denial, and then I'm going to be angry, and then I'm going to try to bargain out of it, and then I'm going to be depressed and super sad, and then I'm going to accept it, and we're done. And that's just not how grief works, unfortunately. Grief, you bounce back and forth, and you can think that, I've been so sad, so incredibly sad over this. And then I'm so angry. I cannot believe this happened. This is the worst thing that happened. I am so pissed off about it. And then I can go into denial. This is not happening. How could this have happened? This is not happening. And then I'm right back at being so sad. And those stages of grief, you guys, can pop in from minute to minute, from week to week, from month to month. And you can't pray it away. You can't cry it away, and you can't skip any stages. As sucky as that is, you can't skip a stage. You have to go through every single stage to really get to the point of full acceptance and moving forward. So whether you're in the middle of grieving a death of a loved one, a death of a pet, any type of deep grieving like that, it's okay. And I'm just gonna be real. How many people go, just get on your knees and pray about it. God's got this. focus on God. You know what? You can be angry. You can be pissed off because grief is not easy. Losing someone is not easy. It's not, and you can be pissed, and it doesn't seem fair. And that's okay. You have to go through that. Now, my advice and my encouragement for you is don't stay long in that. Don't stay long in that anger and that sadness. Because guys, the longer you stay in it, the more bitterness is going to build. And it's not fun to live as an angry person. It's not fun to live as a sad person. It's not fun to live in a state of denial, right? Like those stages are not fun to be in. And some of us get so deep in them that it's a struggle to get out, and it's digging and digging and digging to get out. And sometimes it is a bitch that you are so deep in that hole, whether it's anger or denial or depression, whatever that is. Move through the stages. And I don't know, guys, I wish that I could tell you, okay, stage 1 is going to last you this long, and stage 2 is going to last you this long, then you're going to jump back to stage 1. I don't know what that journey looks like for you. Crap, I don't even know what it looks like for me sometimes, you guys. So it's one of those things that's super interesting. I lost my grandma, and we were tight. We were so close. And, you know, I went through those stages, and I've accepted it. She's gone. She's in a better place. She's dancing with my grandpa, and that's what she always wanted to do. But if I walk by that picture that I keep in my family room and I stop for a moment and stay in that spot, I can go through those stages of grief again. I can go through that denial of why. Why didn't I call her that morning? Why didn't I stop by that morning? Why didn't I check on her? Why didn't I stop by the night before? Why didn't I do more? I can go through that. I can go through that. God, I miss her so much. It hurts how much I miss her. And I can go through the, frick, why'd that happen? I'm so mad. I need her. I need to be able to pick up the phone and call her today. I can stay there. And then I can choose to move past it. I'm going to give you just one more little hint. For some of us that have to go on, all of us have to go on, but you know what I mean. For some of us that have to get back on social media and be positive and lead a team and help people have success, something that has really helped me in any of the stages of grief that you're going through or I'm going through, is kind of think of your grief as being able to put into a box, right? And if you can put that, I know it's going to sound crazy, stick with me here, but if you can put that grief into a box, tie a beautiful ribbon around it. I often think of some stuff that I'm going through with having this beautiful hot pink ribbon on it. And so in my head, I visualize kind of a pearly white, beautiful box, and I can put it in it, and I can tie up the ribbon, and in my head, I literally put it on a shelf. I can see myself placing that situation in a box on a shelf so I can focus on my family, I can focus on work, I can focus on other things. And then when I need to kind of work through some things, when I need to go through some anger or some sadness, I can pull that box off the shelf. I can untie that ribbon, and I can live in that grief for a little while. So if you can kind of try to figure out, what does your box look like? What does your ribbon look like? What does that look like in the moment to place it up on a shelf? I'm hopeful that that is an encouragement to you to help you get through whatever grief you're in right now. But trust me, go through the grief stages. Go through each stage. Be in denial. Be angry. It's okay, guys. I know people want to say to us all the time, get on your knees and pray about it. And trust me, we do need to. We absolutely need to, because at the end of the day, we serve a big God that can help us through this. But you gotta work through it. You've gotta go through the grief stages. I'm gonna let you go with this. I will be back at you later on in the week to talk about grieving things that are still going on in your life, and not just grieving the death of somebody, but grieving things that are still going on in your life. I'll be back at you with that at the end of the week. That has been super powerful in my life over the last few years. But this is what I'm going to say to you. Therapy is fan-stinkin-tastic. If you need therapy, don't let there be a stigma around that. If you need counseling, find somebody who can breathe life into you and help you work through those stages of grief. Don't allow yourself to get so deep in that grief that you are struggling to get out. Don't allow yourself to get so far in anger that bitterness starts to grow roots in you. It's not a fun place to be. Nobody wants to live there. So connect with somebody, a professional that has been trained to help with those grief stages. You will be so glad you did. You will be so thankful that you worked through that, and you can live a life of freedom. You can be sad. You can take the box off in your mind off the shelf and live in your grief. But you can learn to have acceptance with that and move through it and live a life of freedom. And guys, that life is glorious. And that's where God wants us to be. That's where I want all of you to be. And I know if you really think about it, that's probably where you want to be. So that's my encouragement for you today. I would love, love, love. I know it takes a lot of guts to share kind of where you are in a grief stage, but if you want to share that with me, that'd be awesome. I'd love to hear it. You're more than welcome to blow up my Facebook Messenger, and we can talk about where you are in those grief stages. I'd love to connect with you and chat with you on them. But I just encourage you guys, reach out to somebody if you're really struggling through the grief stages, and go through everyone. Deal with everyone. You know, maybe you write down in journal, what is denial feeling like right in this moment? What is anger feeling like in this moment? What is bargaining feeling like? Write out your bargains. It's okay. What does that depression feel like? Where are you at in that sadness? And what does acceptance look like for you? And ultimately, what does freedom look like for your life? So with that, I'm going to wish you guys a fantastic Wednesday, a great rest of your week. Give me some hearts and some thumbs up if you caught my what I'm going for here and my vibe here and all of that. And have a fantastic day. I love all of you guys, and I want everyone to live a life of freedom.